it offends their political sensibilities, maybe their spiritual and religious sensibilities, maybe just their personal sensibilities.
Folks, stop right there. Welcome to Muzzle Tough. I love you so much. Like and subscribe. This next click is done by Mayor. Click.
Okay.
I did not sleep last night. Like, not even like a drop, Mayor. No, we can't avoid it. I mean, I remember when I was going to sleep, I'd hear a story about trains all the time. Thomas the Train Engine. There was a bunch that, and it never bothered me once. Okay. I don't know
Okay.
what the big deal is all about.
Okay. All right. Ben, you know what they're talking about. They're talking
Explain
about
it.
trans story time is a phenomenon that has been occurring in the year 2023. And basically what it is a bunch you got I guess it should have been drag story time instead of trans story time. Whoever wrote that in there, we're gonna have to fire
Yeah, talk to
that.
the producer or something.
We're
You
gonna
know
have
what I
to
mean?
talk to that person. But basically, is they have a bunch of drag performers come to a local public library and host a story hour, and generally they'll read inclusive books. You know, children's books are coming out now that are more. Oh shit, man! Inclusive. I don't know the fucking words, man. Y'all made them up.
It's good. It's good.
Anyway,
It's good.
but my actual point on this is like I actually don't give a shit. I think it's fine because you could just not take your kid to the story hour.
Yeah, but
You know
what
what I'm
if
saying?
like, it's at the school or some shit like that and you can't avoid
No,
it?
no, but it's not happening. No,
Devil's
no, no,
advocate.
no. We're not talking about. It's not happening at schools. And if it is, then we're going to destroy all the schools. No,
Google,
listen,
Mayor, quick Google search.
I
Is
don't.
trans story time happening in school? Just look it up. Just look up one.
I mean,
Mayor?
drag. We got to. Oh God, we're gonna die.
Okay, fine.
Drag
Drag.
story hour.
Mayor, I
Okay,
apologize, but it's so hot.
this is what
I
they
have to
say.
take this jacket off.
No, you
I'm
can't.
sorry.
You
Oh,
can't. You're
God,
not allowed
dude.
to. This is what
Oh,
they
God.
say. Drag queen story hour. Drag queen story time. Drag story time. The drag story hour. These are children's event first started in 2015 by author and activist Michelle T in San Francisco. Okay, with goals of promoting reading and diversity. That's great. I listen, like I said, I have absolutely no problem with a person volunteering as long as they're not a criminal, you know what I mean? And they're safe to be around kids. There's nothing wrong with them reading a book and helping out the community. Nothing wrong with that. Here's the thing. And by the way, Nancy Reagan, she started this whole thing going to schools and reading. And if the parents didn't want their kids to be in the same classroom as Nancy Reagan because they didn't like her politics, guess what they did? Their kid didn't go to school that day, or they didn't go to that class, or this and that. Likewise, there were a lot of parents that don't want their kids in pictures or on this or that. And so if there's a media event at a school, they won't go that day. That is totally fine. It's reasonable. People do it all the time. People are getting uppity about the whole dragged story hour because it offends their political sensibilities, maybe their spiritual and religious sensibilities, maybe just their personal sensibilities. You know what I mean? Maybe they just think, I don't think that's right. My kid shouldn't have to see that. Okay, then don't go. You know, I think there are a lot of people. No, what do you mean? There are a lot of people out there who are trying to ban this shit outright. And it goes straight up against the Constitution and freedom of speech. If there's a man out there who wants to dress up as a lady, because again, that's what drag is. Keep in mind, drag performers are not transvestites, right? They are just dudes dressing up as women as an art form, okay, and performing. They are performers, first and foremost. All
They
right.
also happen to have amazing diction. It's like it's kind
Diction
of a
on
weird
point.
crossing streams. They got great
That's
diction
right.
also. So,
That's
that
right.
obviously they're going to read. Yeah.
And fat cocks. But the point
Yeah.
is
Well,
this. The
how
point
do
is
you
this.
read? You got to keep your finger along the
The
page.
point
They
is this.
never lose the line.
Listen. Sure, you'll see videos out there of maybe they're dancing and you'll say, oh, that's an inappropriate dance. And maybe you'll say, and you know what? I might even agree with you. then don't watch the video. Then don't go. And if you say, "Whoa, those kids, they're being indoctrinated," yeah, but is it your kid? Is your kid going to hang out with that kid? Don't you think you have a say in that as the parent? You can avoid it all, my brother. You can avoid it all, and you can calm down, and you can let these dudes dress up as funny looking ladies, and they can shake their tuchuses, and they can have it all, and you can have it all. America's a big place where liberty and justice for all. Okay, no one has to get all up in arms about abolishing this or pushing that. Listen, there's no straight story hour. So make one. No one's going to stop you.
It actually leads me to my next point. So
Go
I
ahead.
noticed there's drag story hour, right?
Sure.
But I feel like the ultimate way to really like, just quell the whole thing is to bring in all the different types of people and professions and have them do story hour. You know what I mean? For the
They
school.
have wait. They have career day at school where parents of
Yeah, but I want
all
them to read me a
professional where
story.
parents of all professional calibers come to the school and they explain to the students what it is they do for a living. And you know what? Sometimes there's some parents who go to school and say, "Hey, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer." Sometimes there are parents who go there and say, "Hey, I'm a garbage man. I'm a city cleaner." Someone might even be an exotic dancer. Woohoo. A job is a job. A paycheck is a paycheck. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And listen, the
Do you
fact
believe
is, go
do you
ahead.
believe
What
sex
about
work is work? Do you believe sex work is work? They're the same, there's
they
no difference?
they working for show. I mean,
Acceptable
hey,
answer.
listen. A slave works. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying work is the same as a job. All right, that's very important. A job is willful employment. You're there because you want to be there, and the employer wants you to be there, and that relationship is as strong as the person who wants it the least. If you want to leave one
Okay.
day, there's nothing the employer can do legally to stop you in America. And in America, if the employer doesn't want you there, there's nothing you can do with most jobs to say, okay, now I'm fired. That's it. Right? It's called
Okay.
at will employment. Right? That's the kind of work I'm talking about. And when it comes to volunteer work, which most library stuff is, whether there's a small film festival being held at your local library, whether there's a book reading, a book signing, anything that is generally done. The people organizing it are volunteers. They're not being paid. They're doing it simply because they love what they do and they love the community. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you think there is, then you just don't have to go. That's
These
it.
are
I
such
don't.
good points. These are such good points. You just spoken
How
like
can
someone as mayor, and I understand why you're making these points because I know last week when you went and you did your drag story time, you got dressed up in a big, fluffy outfit. You put some balloons under that shirt. You know what I'm saying? You went to the school, and what book did you read again? What book did you read? I forgot. Which one?
I can't.
It
I
was
can't.
Harry Potter, the whole series, all the way through, and you didn't leave. And you stayed at the school, and they brought you cups of water, and you continued. Your lipstick was smeared down your face. Your all of your makeup was at that point gone. Three different wig
All
changes.
right, all right.
The
Then
kids loved it.
is there anything you can possibly say to refute the morality? Like there are people out there who say that drag story hour is immoral. It's a blight on society. They think it's indicative of a darker time that lies ahead. Do you believe any of that shit?
No, but I believe that if I'm being serious, I believe that the way the media handles it is the real sign of the end of times.
Hmm. How do
Yeah,
you
that's
mean?
right.
How do you mean?
Well, I mean, listen, news is only news if it gets, pushed around and all this publicized and stuff. Like if there's like I gotta get tissue. If there's some small town that has like a little trans story or drag story or whatever, it's not gonna matter. But if they make a big deal about it and everyone's talking about it, it's propagandized and shoved down our throats and stuff like this. You got to think, what's the end goal? Why are they doing this? Let me get tissue.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly why they're doing it. So first of all, this is no one can say who hit first, right? Drag Story Hour happened in 2015 in San Francisco, and someone either wrote an article promoting it or someone wrote an article hating on it. and it started from there. Can we actually go back? We probably can. 2015 is not too long ago. It's only 5 years ago, right? From time of recording this video. You know,
It's 8 years ago.
from the time of recording this video, though, so 5
Oh
years.
yeah.
Listen, I'll say like this. No one knows who hit first in what direction. The only reason people are publicizing it and weaponizing it in the media is because they want someone to win the next election. And if they can only prove how crazy the other side is and how terroristic the other side is and how mean and dangerous the other side is, they can garner more votes for that side. And for some reason, they pick these very wackadoo stories, that are really sort of baseless and kind of stupid in my mind, to run with an agenda. And listen, everybody knows there's at least 72 agendas out there. There's a male, a female, the
Agenda.
agenda.
That was a
Listen, that
sexist
was a
joke,
horrible
and
joke. Listen, guys,
you're gonna go to jail. I'm
my
gonna
point is
actually
this.
put you there myself.
I can't see myself ever going to a drag story hour. Okay.
Again.
Can't see myself doing it. But I will say like this. If you are in the greater Pawtucket area and want to
Where we
come
live.
to a wonderful story reading, 38th and Chesterfield, the local Nantucket library, I will be doing a reading as Shaniqua Starlet. That's my stage name. And
this whole thing.
Wait.
Wait. We're gonna get copyright
Go
struck
ahead.
by
Sorry,
the
go ahead. You're
Georgians.
right. Copyright strike. Yes. Go ahead, Ben. Wrap this one up, Ben. What do you got?
I do have a little bit that I was once working on that, of course, I will now poorly explain here, but it goes something like, I'm a bit of a science guy. I enjoy science, and I'm also very literal because I'm very high up in the Mensa. Shout out our last episode. I'm very smart, but sometimes being smart has its downfall. Like when you're so smart, you're stupid again, right? So basically, what happened was I wanted to study the effects of wind resistance and drag when you're falling, right? Like you're falling from the sky, and I wanted to see like what's the resistance like. Keep it together, Ben. And basically what happened was I saw that there was in my town they were putting on a drag show, and I was like, sick, dude. I'm gonna go study like people who are doing it IRL. Like I'm gonna watch things fall from the sky and study their inertia or whatever the fuck. Smart. So basically, I go to the drag show. It is not what I thought it was going to be.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say though, the lead scientist, super hot.
Guys, thank you so much for making it this far in the episode. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Tell me how right or wrong I am.